What's up, all connoisseurs of fiction? It's me, Full0Grace.
It's me, WindyVee.
And today we're reacting to RWBY Volume 1, Chapter 3. It's been so just so you guys know, it's been a hot second since we've done any reactions.
It has.
It's been like over a month, I believe.
Yeah, I think the last time that we got together to do this was like early January, and today
No, it was before Christmas.
No, it was before
I got
Christmas.
I got these. I got the whole set plus this. Well, I already has why, but I got these for Christmas, and so I've been wanting to put them in a video. I'm like, it's been over a month.
It has. It has been over a month.
Right.
Today is the air of Vox Machina, which is why I look like elf pirate thing. I don't know. I know it's not in line for this channel, but
We're good.
I had to dress up. There was I have no excuse.
If you didn't dress up for this, it'd be like not dressing up for RWBY Volume 9 when it came out. I can't
not.
Oh my gosh. But so yeah, where we left off, if I remember correctly, because as I said, it's been a while. Jean has met RWBY. I think we've met Weiss and Blake briefly. Yang ditched RWBY. Before we begin, we did want to talk about something. There was a comment from Marie Porter. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Thank you so much for subscribing and all your comments, Marie.
We see all of them.
Amazing.
I've been intending to go through using my channel to reply to your comments. I just keep forgetting because I know you keep having like questions about me and comments about me.
It's been amazing. But there was one we wanted to point. There's one I wanted to give a shout out to. That was very important. You asked, I don't want to make trouble, but can you describe why you think the show doesn't handle PTSD well? I would agree with that, but I can't put my finger on why I feel that way.
So I'm going to talk about that because I'm the one here with actual PTSD. So,
and if you don't want to talk about any of that, you do not have to.
Oh yeah.
Because internet,
I can talk about my own experience with my PTSD. I will not talk about what causes my PTSD, but...
And please do not ask.
Please don't ask.
Please do not ask. We will not comment on that.
I'm not going to elaborate on the internet.
No.
I will not elaborate on why I have PTSD or what caused it. I won't even elaborate too much on what my triggers are. But I will elaborate on my experience with PTSD and how it works for me and why I think they failed in portraying PTSD with Yang. I'm going to let you describe the scene because...
The big one is that where Yang is in the kitchen, bonks a glass off the counter, falls to the ground, it shatters. And she backs up real fast, grabs the counter, and she gets this flash of like Adam's mask and like this slashing motion. And she breathes a bit, smacks the counter, and then moves on. And like there's other moments where she's like fighting, and her hand starts shaking. She'll grab it, breathe, and move on.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about why that's not great PTSD portrayal. Mm-hmm. First off, I mean, and this is not to discredit anybody else's PTSD, but from what I've seen in my experience with PTSD, the glass falling should not have been a trigger. I'm assuming that what caused her to have PTSD was getting her arm sliced off.
Yeah.
There was no shattering of anything, no breaking of anything, no... It would be understandable if maybe she had PTSD regarding blades, if she had PTSD regarding knives or blood or things of that nature. A glass shattering on the floor, and the fact that other louder events happen after that don't trigger her PTSD, because the only thing that I could imagine the glass shattering giving her with her PTSD would be loud noises. If she's experiencing loud noises outside of the glass breaking and is not having any issues, then the glass breaking was not a viable trigger. Mm-hmm. That's not something that you could even really call a trigger. The way that she responds to her PTSD, breathing, moving on, that's not how a panic attack works. A PTSD triggered panic attack looks more something like a full breakdown.
Yeah, it can last from what I understand. I've seen a couple. I've had one. As far as I remember, I've had one panic attack in my life. That lasted about a couple hours for me. I've heard some that last for days or maybe a day, where it's not just a brief like, calm down, move on.
I have not had any that lasted for hours. And I've had quite a few PTSD related panic attacks in the past month. I've had a lot in the past month actually, and mine I know last for at least a good couple of minutes, upwards of a half hour or more.
Okay.
Usually. Full on breakdown, crying, belittling myself. There's a lot more that you have to work through with a panic attack than just breathing and moving on. You have to work through the emotion. You have to get over whatever is causing you to feel that way. You have to face whatever is causing you to feel that way, whether that's your own head or an outside trigger. You have to take the time to look at whatever triggered you and go, this is not what's happening in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
This happened a day ago, a week ago, a month ago, years ago. This is not now. I am safe. I am wanted. I am loved. Whatever you gotta tell yourself to feel okay again. There's more to a panic attack than just, I'm good. There's also the shaking. The shaking in the hand. I didn't understand that.
It kept popping up whenever she was in combat, or when someone was like, oh, you're just a broken girl, and her hand starts shaking, and she's like, it's more complicated than that, and I'm like, I see you trying to give her trauma and trying to deal with the trauma. I see it not quite.
Shaking can be a part of a panic attack, but if you're shaking, there's more happening. Shaking and crying, shaking and panicking, shaking and shortness of breath. There's more happening than just shaking, and if you're shaking, it's going to happen in more than just your hand.
Yeah.
I can understand the hand shaking as a tic caused by the PTSD. Sometimes things can arise after a traumatic event. If that was like a tic that she got post having her other arm cut off, I could see that, maybe. But as a viewing that as a part of her PTSD, as a part of her trauma, as a part of how she is reacting to that trauma, doesn't work at all.
There's two other things. One, I understand, Rashid, you a storyteller, you want to keep the plot going, I get that. But the fact that the handshaking just is gone.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. Like,
we're
not quite sure how much time's passed. I think it's been a couple months since that happened. Like, at least a year from what I can understand, months-wise, timeline-wise. Because I'm not exactly clear on the timeline. It's weird.
We're not exactly clear on it.
It will take more than a year to get mentally okay with this. Like, if ever.
It's been 2 for me. And I'm still having PTSD. I still have panic attacks. I still deal with the bullshit. Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, it just doesn't disappear like that.
It does not.
She basically had PTSD for a couple of episodes, and then it went away.
I get you want to have her be a badass, but I would have expected at least something when Adam showed up again. Like and we had Adam popping back up, and she was like thought she was seeing him and stuff like that, and there was probably like back up, and then Blake was there and talking, and she was like whatever, but like when she actually saw him.
I will say, because there was at least once where she saw him and he wasn't actually there.
Yeah, I believe so. It was at the, I can't remember the name of the farm, but it was during the apathy attack situation.
Right.
When she looked at the window and saw him.
Yeah. I will say that is a very real thing that can happen as a result of PTSD. You can see things, hear things. I know I still hear things. That is something that can happen. However, again, the fact that they only did it once and moved on Yang's PTSD, to do it right, they needed to make it consistent. They needed to make it more impactful. They needed to show more of it.
Revisit it every once in a while,
Yeah.
especially with, like, figure out what her triggers are. So when they do pop up, they're like, oh, we should have something here because that's realistic. And we as fans would have appreciated, like, some people are like, oh, we just want Yang to get back to normal. Please, no. Portray PTSD properly. If you're going to give her that, please portray it properly. We'd appreciate it, and we'd give a voice to those who have this kind of situation.
Yeah.
Speaking of, how do you think her dad, do you remember how her dad handled it? Where he was like, if you want to get, he was like, put on an arm, stop moping. Do you want to if you want to go out there and help your sister, like I'm here for you, but you just have to get off your butt and stop moping.
No. No.
I love you. I love Ty. I do. I'm summarizing it, what he did very, very briefly. But, yeah.
I can say, I had parents like that, and there's a reason I don't live with them anymore. My parents did the same thing, where they were basically like, stop moping, it's okay, just move on, it can't hurt you anymore. No. No. Because in my brain, it can hurt me. It can. I know that logically, it can't hurt me anymore. What happened to me happened in the past. It won't affect me anymore. It can't hurt me anymore. My brain doesn't understand that. And that's how that works for people with PTSD. For people with PTSD, what happened to them is still actively happening.
You're not like Nora, where you can actually see the scars from her pushing her semblance and then burns all over, where she now has big permanent scars. The scars are there. You just can't see them.
Just because you can't see them doesn't mean they aren't there.
Yeah.
And her dad reacting the way that he did, I understand the push to try to get her to put the new arm on.
That makes sense. I can get that.
Because I can see from a point of view of somebody who does not have the PTSD, who has not experienced what they experienced.
We're not talking as someone who's lost limbs.
Yes, we're not talking to people who have lost limbs, but I understand from Ty's point of view, being someone who doesn't have PTSD, being someone who doesn't understand the that loss, that scarring, that emotional distress, where he would have been like, maybe if she puts on the arm, she'll be okay again. Maybe if she puts on the arm, she'll have that arm again, and she'll be okay. And she can get over it, and she can work through it easier, whatever, however he justified that in his mind. I understand that. However, the stop moping around, get off your lazy butt, get out of the house, go help your sister, like, that push to get her to stop feeling her feelings, it's not okay. Yang, as it was, Yang was trying, as far as I could tell, Yang was trying very hard to not feel her feelings. And what Ty needed to do, instead of pushing her to get out of the house and stop moping, is Ty should have pushed her the opposite direction. He should have brought her closer, helped her work through her PTSD, helped her work through her emotions, encouraged her to work through her emotions, remind her that her emotions are valid, that her feelings are valid, that her PTSD, her trauma is valid.
I think they worked through their own family way of, I'm going to punch things.
Right.
Other than that, I have no clue. Like, I do love, like, how, again, as someone who's never lost a limb, how she's trying to, like, she's like, this is a part of me. I've lost a part of me. This is how things are now. And it's like, but they don't have to be. Your reality is what you make it. I get that kind of way. I do. I love how she spray painted her prosthetic. I love that. I do. This is a part of me. If it's going to be part of me, it's going to be kick-ass.
Right.
But, I do love that. Bruce Teeth tried. I get that. Thank you for trying.
Thank you for trying. We do see you. We do appreciate you. There was certainly better ways to go about it.
Yes.
It's kind of clear that they didn't really talk to anybody who actually has PTSD about it. Which makes me a little sad. But I can see that they were trying, and that they at least acknowledged the fact that loss of a limb would give one PTSD.
Yes.
Heavy PTSD. I I know I can't say from experience because I've never lost a limb, but but I can say from my own experience that having PTSD in a lot of cases can feel like you've lost a part of yourself. There is that feeling of brokenness, like you can't, like something or someone or some event broke you and you just can't be fixed now. There's a part of you that's missing now and you don't know how to get back to normalcy. That feeling of brokenness never really goes away, at least in my experience. Now, it has only been 2 years for me, so people that have PTSD dating farther back might say otherwise, but
and I know all PTSD is different.
All PTSD is different.
Yes. All PTSD, like the sources of PTSD vary extremely from veterans to abuse.
The way that everyone deals with PTSD is vastly different, and we are not speaking on behalf of everyone who
Especially
has PTSD.
Don't have it.
I am certainly not speaking on behalf of everyone who has PTSD. My PTSD is vastly different from Yang's. Obviously, it was not combat related. I'm not a veteran. I'm not. None of that.
For those who have served, we appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Yes. We love you, Rooster Teeth, so much. This is basically my only complaint.
Yeah.
Like, is that Yang's PTSD was not handled well. There should have been more. It should have been a little more dramatic. It should have been a little bit more of a focus. It should have been a bigger problem than it was.
That being said, they did handle Cinder a lot better when it came to past things defining her later on. They did that very well.
They did that amazingly. They did that amazingly. Your trauma can define you in a lot of ways.
It's sad when it happens, but it does happen.
It's sad when it happens, but it does happen.
Yeah.
I am lucky to have not let too much of my trauma define me. But it is hard to not let it define you, especially when it happens to you at such a young age. It's hard to not let it define you, at least in some aspects. I'm a people pleaser. That comes from part of my trauma.
Yeah.
But I'm working through that. And the problem with a lot of people who deal with trauma in their early life is that it's hard to work through it when you're an adult.
Yes.
When you can take a step, it's hard to take a step back and go, this was my trauma, and look at what's my trauma and what is actually me. Because separating yourself from your trauma is not an easy thing to do, especially the further you get from it. The further you get from the time that your trauma happened, the easier it is to let it define you, to continue to let it define you, to let it integrate itself as a part of who you are.
As someone who has had PTSD, is there anything you would recommend for someone who's trying to find help or who's been through anything really bad, or considering what should I do? Would you recommend a therapist?
I would absolutely recommend therapy.
We're not recommending saying, hey, this happened, just broadcasting it. We're not recommending that.
No.
But would you recommend finding someone to talk to about this? Maybe not a therapist, but someone.
I would definitely recommend therapy. Therapy. I know there's a lot of stigma around therapy for a lot of people. But therapy is not just for the broken. Therapy is not just for the hurt.
I see a therapist, and I'm pretty okay, so.
Yeah. Therapy does not mean that you're broken and that you need to be fixed. Therapy gives you the tools to fix yourself. Now, I don't necessarily recommend going into therapy for 1 or 2 sessions and then leaving going, I can do it myself. If you need the help, get the help. Please. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It will make your life so much better. Therapy is not just having someone else tell you what's wrong with you and then moving on. Therapy is having someone to listen to you, having someone to talk to about what happened to you, having someone to tell you, hey, this is how I recommend you attempt to try to work through this.
In a safe place.
In a safe place. Because with therapy, a lot of it is going in, talking about what happened to you, and getting the tools that you need to be okay again. That's not to say that you'll be okay again right away. It might take years of therapy to be okay again. But therapy gives you those tools to work on yourself. So I highly recommend therapy. If you can't get therapy, or if you even want it as something on the side to help you, I recommend finding someone that you trust, finding someone that loves you and appreciates you and will understand that your issues are not you. And talking to them, confiding in them, letting them bear your trauma with you. Now, that kind of person is not easy to find, and they are not a replacement for a therapist. No. Please, please, please do not go to your friends or your family or your significant others and coax them into being your pseudo-therapist. That is not healthy. That will ruin your relationship. That is extremely toxic, actually. So I'm not recommending you going and asking someone near you to be your therapist. Go to a therapist if you need a therapist. But if you have someone that you can confide in, that you can talk to, that can be there when you're having when you're having a panic attack, when you're having a tough time, to remind you that you're okay, that you're safe, that you're loved, that you're wanted, that you're safe, is amazing. And if you can find someone like that, I applaud you. I highly recommend that. Also, take the time, and this is going to sound really corny, take the time to meditate. And not necessarily meditation, but sitting by myself and letting myself feel my feelings. Look back on what happened in the moment. Or what just made you feel so upset.
Because so often we're surrounded by TV shows, by media, by YouTube, TikTok, all these things. Our culture is very next thing. Put them away, put the phone on silent mode, put it in a different room, get in a room by yourself. If it's like a closet or where there's nothing around, that's fine. If it's a bathroom where there's nothing around, that's fine. Find some place where there's nothing around and you can just slow down and think.
Just be. Let yourself be. Just exist with yourself for a minute. Prepare some comfort food for after the fact. Grab yourself some water. And just sit in a room by yourself. Think about what's made you so upset. Think about what your trauma is. And let yourself feel the emotion that comes with that. Work through that emotion.
As someone, as I said, I don't have PTSD. I do have my own, I don't want to say trauma because that seems like it's not valid. I have my own struggle. I have a very strong struggle that I do deal with. I've dealt with this for many years. And for years, I didn't tell anyone. Like, this happened when I was about 10 to 12-ish, about 10 to 12-ish, long time ago. I didn't tell anyone. My mom and dad knew something had happened, but they didn't know the exact details. I held that in myself, and I hated myself. It was really bad and toxic to myself. I hated myself. It was bad. It was really bad. And I didn't tell anyone until I graduated. And once I'm not saying tell the world. I'm not saying that. I told someone, and I felt like the weight had been lifted off me. Because this person who I had told, I only felt I could talk to them because I realized, because they told me, because I found out they'd been something similar, something that sounded very similar to me, and I was like, I want to talk to you about this. And once I got off my chest, it was so good to get off my chest. I could talk about it. It was amazing. And I don't blab to the world about it, but I don't, this isn't a PTSD thing. This is something that I personally struggle with that I don't like about myself, but I'm working through it. And I found out only recently that I hadn't gotten everything off the shelf. I still had some stuff stuck away, and it wasn't until very recently that a guy I know was very kind and very nice and very patient, asked me out, and I told him, please not yet. I need to work through some things, because I just realized I still had some garbage, some stuff back there that I did not want to touch. And I was, can I please work through that first? And I took it off the shelf. I examined it. I worked through it. I'm still working through it. And if he hadn't asked me out, I've said yes now. We're dating now. But if he hadn't asked me out, if I hadn't had the courage to be like, I want to be with this person, but first I need to deal with me first. I feel like I resemble a lot with Nora. Where Nora's like, I can't be, like, until I can be the partner you need, not yet. I get that. And for me and Nora, it's very different things, but I understand that, and your partner's not going to fix you.
No, absolutely not.
Like, sometimes you need to spend time with yourself and figure it out before you can be the partner they need or want.
Me and my partner are still figuring that one out. That we can't be there to fix each other, but we can be there to support each other.
We can be there for each other, we support each other, and we can talk through some things, but sometimes we are the only ones who can fix ourselves. Like, we can get tools from others to deal with it, but in the end, it's your mind, and you can only be healed if you let yourself be healed.
Mm-hmm. If there's anything that I've learned about my PTSD and my experiences, it's that bottling it in, keeping it to yourself, is scarier than telling somebody.
Yes.
Because you sit there with it going, I can't tell anybody. Nobody can find out.
They'll judge me.
Nobody
They'll
can know. They'll judge me. They'll hate me. They'll look at me weird. They'll never look at me the same again. Oh my God. Take a breath.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to tell somebody. You don't have to deal with it all on your own.
Not everyone's perfect. Everyone has their struggles.
And I promise you, the people around you who truly love you, who truly care about you, will understand.
Yes.
If you go and tell somebody your PTSD and they're like, oh, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Don't keep them around.
It.
Keep the ditch
That ain't it, Chief. That ain't it. Nah.
Mm-hmm.
I've told this one about my PTSD. I've told my boyfriend about my PTSD. My boyfriend was the first person I ever told about my PTSD. Mm-hmm. And the weight that it took off my shoulders was amazing. Part of me wishes I could straight up talk about... Part of me wishes I was comfortable enough to straight up talk about what caused my PTSD. But this is a family-friendly channel, and I'm not comfy with that right now. But
yeah. Plus... Internet is dangerous sometimes.
Internet can be dangerous, especially with the causer of my PTSD.
Internet was kind of involved. But we're not going to go in that. We're not going into that. We're not going into that.
Stay safe on the internet, kids.
Actually, it was kind of for both of us. Both our things. So, yeah! This is why we don't go by our real names on the internet.
Right.
If you may guess, my real name isn't Grace.
What? No, I had no idea.
Yeah, guys, it really is not.
You've been lying to me this whole time.
Alright, guys, we've gone on this enough.
But yeah.
This is an important topic, and I'm glad we were able to talk about it. But you guys are here for something. So let's get into the episode.
I missed this opening.
I just remembered just a fun fact I learned about our dear prince. For later. From Jean, I learned something quite interesting.
Oh boy.
Hey, Yang.
Well, that Yang is the only one we can seem to grab.
Oh, hey, I gotta go.
Shadow
I'll see you
people.
after the ceremony. Hey, wait. Ah, great.
Where am I supposed to find another nice, quirky girl to talk to?
There.
How's your first day going, little sister? You mean since you ditched me and I exploded? Yikes, meltdown already? No, I literally exploded a hole in front of the school. And there was some fire, and I think some ice. Are you being sarcastic? I wish. I tripped over some crabby girl's luggage, and then she yelled at me, and then I sneezed, and then I exploded, and then she yelled again, and I felt really, really bad, and I just wanted her to stop yelling at me. You! Oh God, it's happening again! You're lucky we weren't blown off the side of the cliff. Oh my God, you really exploded. It was an accident. It was an accident.
Oh my God, he really exploded.
What's this?
The Schneedas Company is not responsible for any injuries or damages sustained while operating a Schneedas Company product. Although not mandatory, the Schnee family highly encourages their customers to read and familiarize themselves with this easy-to-follow guide to best application and practice in the field.
You really want to start making things up to me? Absolutely. Read this and don't ever speak to me again. Look, it sounds like you two just got off on the wrong foot. Why don't you start over and try to be friends, okay? Yeah, great idea, sis. Hello, Weiss. I'm Ruby. Want to hang out? We could go shopping for school supplies. Yeah, and we can paint our nails and try on clothes and talk about cute boys
I
like
forgot how
tall, blonde,
overly
and
saturated this
scraggly over
was in
there.
season 1.
Wow, really? No.
Like, you can hardly tell any of Weiss
keep this
from any
brief.
other part of her.
You have traveled here today in search
Dawn's
of
like,
knowledge.
that means she's into me,
To
right?
hone your craft and acquire new skills.
Yes.
And when
Oh
you
my
are finished, you plan to dedicate your life to the protection
This speech
of
is
the
kind of
people.
sad.
But I look amongst you, and all I see
Depressing.
is wasted energy, the need of purpose, direction.
And they're like,
You
what?
assume knowledge will free you of this, but your time at this school will prove that knowledge can only carry you so far.
But it does help.
It is up to
Tell
you
us what really
to
happened,
take the first
Oz,
step.
because they need to know. Oh gosh.
You will gather in the ballroom tonight.
Linda Goodrich.
Tomorrow, your initiation begins. Be ready. You are dismissed.
I just realized she carries
You
running
seem
cup on
kind
her
of
ankle and on her
It's
shoe.
almost like he
Yes.
wasn't even there.
I'm a natural blonde, you know.
No. Oh gosh. I love her eye
It's
mask.
like a big
Right.
slumber party. I don't think Dad would approve of all the boys, though. I know I do. Ugh. What's that? A letter to the gang back at Signal. I promised to tell them all about Beacon and how
I want
things
to
are
know
going.
more about Ruby's
Aw,
friends.
that's so cute. Shut up. I didn't get to take my friends with me to school. It's weird not knowing anyone here. What about John? He's nice. There you go. Plus one friend. That's 100% increase. Pretty sure Weiss counts as a negative friend. Back to 0.
Not yet.
There's no
Not
such
for long.
thing as negative friends. You just made one friend and one enemy. Look, it's only been one day.
I love her shirt
Trust me,
too.
You've got friends all
Yes.
around you. You just haven't met them yet.
Or you have, but.
That girl. You know her?
Do you remember we were
Not
talking about
really.
this?
She
How
saw what
she blew
happened
the
this morning,
candles
but
that Miss
left
Scoops
before
will
I could
read?
say anything. Well, now's your chance. Wait!
Big sisters. Like, I would never do this to my sibling ever.
Right.
I believe you two may know each other. Aren't
Oh,
you
gosh.
that girl that exploded? Yeah. My name's Ruby. But you can just call me Crater.
No.
Actually, you can just call me Ruby.
Good idea.
Okay. What are you doing? I don't know. Help me. So,
Help me.
what's your
Me
name?
too.
Blake. Well, Blake, I'm Yang.
That was
Ruby's
question marks
older
before she
sister.
gave her name.
I like your bow. Thanks. It goes great with your pajamas. Right.
It's a disguise.
Nice night, don't you think? Yes. It's lovely. Almost as lovely as this book
Do you ever do this with you while you're reading books?
that I will continue to read
All the time.
as soon as you leave. Yeah, this girl's a lost cause. What's it about?
Ooh.
Your book. Does it have a name?
Oh
Well,
gosh.
It's about a man with 2 souls, each fighting for control over his body. Oh yeah, that's real lovely.
That sound
I
familiar
love
to
books.
anybody?
Yang used to read to me every night before bed. Stories of heroes and monsters. They're one of the reasons I want to be a huntress. Why is that? Hoping you'll live happily ever after? Well, I'm hoping we all will.
Foreshadowing?
As a girl, I wanted
Foreshadowing?
to be just like those heroes in the books. As someone who fought for what was right and who protected people who couldn't protect themselves. That's very ambitious for a child. Unfortunately, the real world isn't the same as a fairy tale. Well, that's why we're here. To make it better. Oh, I'm so proud of my baby sister. Cut it out! Well, Ruby Yang, it's a
What in
pleasure
the
to...
world is going on over here?
Do you realize all of us are trying to sleep?
Oh, not you again!
Shh, guys, she's right. People are trying to sleep.
Oh, now you're on my side. I was always on your side. Yeah, what's your problem with my sister? She's only trying to be nice. She's a hazard to my health.
Oh my gosh.
So quick thing, something that my sister pointed out to me. Blake blew out the candle for one reason and one reason only. So she could continue to read and they would leave her alone because she has night vision.
Yes. They would leave her alone because she blew out the candle and assumed that she wants to go to bed or that that's a sign that she doesn't want to communicate anymore. But really, she just blew out the candle to get them to leave her alone so she could continue to read.
No. But oh my gosh, so much. There actually was there was a lot of things in that episode. Like, one, the book Blake was reading. Hello.
Right?
Foreshadowing much. Hello, Oz. Oscar. Oh my gosh. Oh, I want to tell you that fun little thing. So I found out. Remember Carter Winchester?
Mm-hmm.
Him. Turns out. So you remember who Jean's based off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jean Arc. Apparently, Carter Winchester is based off the guy who got Joan of Arc hanged. Executed,
wait,
or executed, however it's executed.
Who was that again?
Carter Winchester, the bully that makes John's life absolute hell.
Right!
And is a honest, racist person.
Yes.
So, I was like...
Sorry, I recognize the name, but I couldn't put the name
fine.
to the face.
It's fine. But I was like... I heard... Like, so... I actually want to make a newer version. So... Whenever you see a video of... These are who the RWBY characters are based off of. They're, like, really old. Like... Volume 4 old.
Mm.
I've been wanting to possibly, if I have some time, maybe go through and go redo, like, this is what character's based off this, and you can tell because they added this thing, and this thing, and this thing. And I was watching one of those videos, and I found out that Carter Winchester is based off that guy who made Joan of Arc's life, like, pretty much killed her, pretty much. I do find it hilarious that Weiss is messing around with RWBY, trying, being facetious, and all that, and Jean's like, oh, that means she likes me. And I'm like, my dude, no. We have Jean being oblivious. I love how they have just like, hey, Pyrrha. It's like, where am I supposed to find another quirky girl to talk to? And Pyrrha.
Best girl, Pyrrha.
Oh, gosh.
I missed Pyrrha so much.
And just, oh my gosh. I love how they were also, like, I don't know if I did love, but like, Oz's speech is kind of depressing. In a way, kind of. Like, it's their first day.
Right, like, bro.
Like, oh my gosh. And I love how they mentioned that Ruby left her friends, and she's like, I'm around a bunch of people who are older than me. I got moved 2 years ahead. Oh gosh.
It makes me sad that they never mention that ever again.
Yeah.
Like, they never mention her old friends ever again. She's never, like, concerned for the friends that she left behind while all this going on. Like,
I think she moved on, because I think she had to kind of move on. Like,
yeah.
Salem, save the world, forward.
Forward march.
And I think it's like almost constant forward march. Over and over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
Also, you guys, for reasons that I refuse to explain, because I'm allowed to do this, it's my channel, we are probably going to be stopping our Volume 1 reactions after they get sorted into their individual teams. We're not going to do the rest of Volume 1. That's probably not going to happen. What we're considering doing, possibly, is up in the air, is reacting to SG-1. It's really big but old show. It's an amazing show. I love it. This one hasn't seen it, but this one's into mythology, so I think they're going to love it. And so the plan for that is we're going to react to the movie for each episode. We're going to react to them. I'm considering breaking each episode into 2 halves so we can get more of it. I'm also considering maybe at some point getting a Patreon where I can put the full reactions up there. But the plan is, so far, currently, unless things change, is that we'll start after catching up to the midpoint of Volume 1 of RWBY, starting SG1, and we're going to do that until Volume 9 of RWBY comes out. We will stop reacting to Star Trek until RWBY's done, and then we will continue with SG1. And there may be other shows after that. I want to do 1 show at a time. We do not have time for anything else, and currently I'm using this channel to show her shows.
Yes.
I'm using my channel. And you guys, sorry. But, so yeah, that is the current plan.
Also, my channel, it's kind of on pause right now.
There were some stumbling things.
Oh yeah. I did get kicked out of my parents' place, so channel's kind of on pause right now while I figure a few things out myself, while I figure out what kind of a schedule I want to run on with the channel, and while I find a webcam. That shouldn't take very long.
And you figure out how to get back onto your YouTube channel.
Yes. My YouTube channel, I forgot the email.
In the midst of chaos, lost the email to the YouTube channel, so therefore she can't find the password to the YouTube channel, so therefore can't access the YouTube channel. So that's on pause until we figure things out.
Yeah, so I'm probably going to be starting a new YouTube channel.
I mean, changing the links.
The good thing is, I didn't post anything on the old one yet, so new links will be posted. Please, 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 please go follow me because there will be gaming content once I get things figured out.
Please be patient.
Obviously will not be in January, but
obviously, yes.
Obviously will not be in January. Considering
I'm pretty sure
today,
this video is going to be posted either at the very end of February or the month after.
Right.
Probably.
And right now we are currently filming this on January 28th. So obviously the whole let's get things going in January thing did not work out. Hopefully
because things that she could not control. This is not her fault. This is the fault of other people. that we are not going to speak of because
I am on good terms with my parents, so I will not speak ill of them on here. But yeah, things did happen, and I'm not living with my parents anymore. So,
which is a good and a bad thing. But we're moving on. Okay.
But yeah. So, hopefully by the time this video comes out, I will be starting to post content. Cross our fingers like crazy.
Please.
Oh my gosh. Hopefully by the time this video comes out, I will have started making content. So please, please, please go follow me for some really super fun gaming content.
I'll make guest appearances.
Yes, of course she will. Of course she will. She will be making guest appearances. I'm going to try to con her into playing some games that she has never even heard of before. So,
I think I made a mistake.
You might get to see this one play Subnautica, if I can con her.
For context,
into
people, I have no clue what that is.
She doesn't.
I've been exposed to some of the games because my boyfriend, and because of some YouTubers I follow, like Dark Souls.
Tell her. I will not tell her what Subnautica is until I make her play it. Don't any of you dare tell her.
If you spoil that in the comments, you're out.
No.
Oh gosh.
Don't spoil it for her. But I'm gonna be making her play Subnautica. To apologize for making her play Subnautica, I might also con her into playing Slime Rancher, which is a favorite of mine.
Okay, guys.
So, we will hopefully have gaming content out on my channel soon.
My gosh.
Getting this one to play games.
I have no
games
clue
by
what I've agreed
myself.
Alright, guys. I'm Full0Grace.
I'm WindyVee.
I'll see you next time.
Bye.